My way, or the highway, and in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Gallop Out. I'm your host, Ryan Anderson, joined this week for our Horseshoe Indianapolis show by none other than the queen of Horseshoe Indianapolis, Rachel McLaughlin. Rachel, welcome back.
Hi, Ryan. So happy to be here. Excited for Derby Week.
That's right. Indiana Derby, Indiana OAKS Week, which is obviously what we're going to be previewing today. Rachel, you already have the outfit going for Indiana Derby Week. Is it just a week full of top tier outfits, and then how's the racing going?
Yeah, top tier outfits for sure. I definitely was because of the heat. Normally we don't race on Monday, so it's really nice when we have a Saturday card to have Monday off because I get to come to the office and get everything caught up for the week. But with the heat, it's really been just running full speed ahead as soon as it started, and to make up for that, now we're gonna race all week, Monday through Saturday, 6 of the 7 days. And I think between the outfit choices and the juggling all of the talent that's coming, Matt Carruthers is going to be here, Dan Cronin is going to be here, Michelle Yu's going to be here, Brian Aragoni is coming into town. I just have so many people. Barry's going to be here. I'm going to get him on a race, and Louis Rabel. I mean, everybody's going to be here, and I just like to really showcase as many people on our simulcast feed as I can. I feel like maybe some other people might not normally do that, but I think it's cool. I think we're special that so many people want to be a part of our day. So it's a lot of moving parts, but it's going to be fun.
It's gonna be fantastic. It is every year. You guys put on such a great kind of festival of racing for that entire week. I saw you educating the people on Twitter about what corn sweat is as well. So the heat seems to be in full effect.
Yes,
so obviously hope you have some air conditioning in your offices.
Yeah, I actually, Eric thought I was making that up, is why I asked that question. A couple weeks ago, when it was really hot, about to get hot, and I said, "You don't know what corn sweat is?" And then I don't know why, this morning I just woke up and I was like, I wonder if I'm the only one that knows what that is. But you literally walk outside here and it's like you have to have gills to breathe. It's not just hot like California hot. It's also like suffocatingly, humidly hot. And then there's cornfields everywhere around here. So yeah, it's and there's a little bit of rain in the forecast, but in the middle of the heat of the summer, to be honest with you guys, it's so hot and it's so dry most of the time that even if we get a shower, and this has happened on Derby Day before, we've had a shower or two, it really doesn't affect anything too much unless it's like a torrential downpour, and that's not in the forecast. So another good thing for Saturday.
Yeah, we won't worry too much about the weather, especially because our 2 races that we're previewing are going to be on the main track, and your grounds crew out there does such an excellent job to have it ready. We're going to start in race number 10 on Saturday, going the mile and a 16th for the 3-year-old fillies. It's the Indiana OAKS. And Rachel, you and I are just going to go through the fields on both of these. You obviously had the draw party yesterday. We already have morning lines. We have post positions. So incredible considering it is only Tuesday, and often we run into that issue where they're not ready. But not you guys. You guys are on top of it. Let's start down on the rail with star actress for Bill Mott sending in here with Junior Alvarado. You got a lot of the top-end jockeys in town. I saw Irad Ortiz, Luis Saez, and, of course, Derby winner Junior Alvarado here as well. So, Rachel, what are your thoughts on this one as she gets back onto the main track?
Well, yeah, I'm not going to belabor this one. She's not my favorite in this field, but obviously she's got talent. She was a 3rd in a grade 1 right after breaking the maiden. And then it's like, where did that form go? You can make an excuse for an off day and a tough race a couple back. Obviously she was bumped, and then I guess you can make a case for the turf race. But I think she's a little outclassed in this field, to be honest with you. Even though she did run in a grade 1, I just don't. Maybe she's not outclassed. She's not recent form is what's concerning me. I mean, there's tons of horses that they break their maiden, they run well, they might perform a little bit, and then it takes a while for them to get back into the groove of things. So I kind of feel like she's that kind of horse.
Me too. I agree. And obviously her run style, she's going to need some pace to close into. I'm not sure she's going to get a white hot pace in a race like this with the 6 total runners that we have. They're all very competitive, but yeah, I think she's a little bit against it from that point of view. I do think she's talented though. So I'd be curious to see how she kind of progresses through her 3-year-old season. A horse just making her 4th career start is number 2, Nala for Brad Cox. Broke the maiden here in an off the turf event at Indy. Won that race pretty convincingly, sat off nicely, and then drew away towards the finish. This one I thought was a little bit interesting, Rachel. What did you think?
I think this one's interesting, and it's too early to tell. I'm going to see what happens, but she's one of my top ones. I haven't decided yet, but here's my angle on that. And sometimes people always ask, like, how do you know this stuff? Because sometimes I just know things, okay? I'm like the imp. I just drink and I know things. And it's really because I've grown up around these people and I've been here for so long. And and even though Brad's like more of a national name, he's been running here in Indiana for a long, long time. And I'm telling you guys, in these big races, there's something about the other Brad Cox trainee. I'm not going to repeat everything you said because you hit the stats on the head, but just a little bit of Rachel intuition here. Everybody's going to have their eye on this prom queen, obviously, and we'll get to her in a minute. But I think Nala's going to set up for a big race. I know his training pattern well when he runs them here, and he just did. She broke the maiden here, so she's very interesting to me. I don't know who I'm going to put on top yet, but that's definitely one I'm considering.
She, you mentioned, the other Brad Cox. The East Coast has the other Chad Brown. We have the other Bob Baffert. So it's that kind of pattern that you look into. And I think her run style is probably, she's a little more tactical than our favorite and prom queen. We'll get to that one shortly. Next up, though, coming out of the Grade 1 Acorn, where she did disappoint, but she set a pretty quick pace that day, is the number 3 Maximum Offer for Kenny McPeak. Louis Saya is going to be aboard. I would anticipate this to be another one of the front runners in here, Rachel.
Yeah, and Kenny, he knows what horses will perform well here. He's done well here in the last few years. And who did he have? I can't remember, but I think he won the Oaks or something in one of the years that Brad didn't win it. But Maximum Offer is a really nice filly. And, she went 1 mile and 1/8, and I don't think she liked it. You can tell she just loves going this distance. So she's the one that you got to consider for, specifically for the distance, because this is obviously her preferred.
Yeah, this is her game. When I think of Kenny McPeak in Indy, I think of that horse Corningstone who would win those handicaps every time. She probably won the Oaks too, but she just
she might
showed
have.
up every time she showed up at Indy.
Yeah.
Next one up, post position 4 belongs to Betty's Pearl, coming off of a huge win last time out in an optional claiming event at Churchill Downs, won by over 6 lengths that day with Mario Gutierrez aboard. Rachel, do you think this one's maybe turned the corner since getting the blinkers on 2 back? Or was that kind of just a 1-number outlier race? Because if she runs back to that 90, she goes very, very tough in here.
I know. You know what? That was a freak figure. I mean, she won by over. If she runs that, because you're right, there's not huge numbers in here. That's my only concern with the 3 Maximum Offer. Her speed figures are not up to par with the rest of these. And Betty's Pearl showed some speed. That was so high and above her highest speed figure. Like, I'm on the Brisnet pages, you're on the DRF pages, and I've got an 88 for 1 back and then the 98. So it's like, you're right. Is that something we can rely on to be a consistency factor? I don't know. That's the question mark that I have on this one. But I love Brian Lynch and Mario Gutierrez. That combo looks good for me. And I mean, you don't have to convince anybody that this daughter of Munnings is talented, but who knows what she's going to do in a graded stake.
Yeah, certainly a bit of a test for her as she gets into some deeper waters. But at 9-2, I think I would take maybe a small flyer on her. I think it'd be worth it to find out. A horse, I would love to hear your thoughts. A horse I don't have a ton of interest in betting is the number 5 Prom Queen. Well, I think she's a very deserving favorite with the company she's kept in her last 3. Outside of the Gulfstream Park Oaks, and we've seen that Gulfstream Park kind of, stay in South Florida, so to speak. She hasn't really transferred that out of state. In fact, she's regressed in 2 straight races. What are your thoughts on Prom Queen here? With Irad Ortiz is in town to ride.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you, and I don't think I am going to put the favorite on top. I do like Prom Queen. I think that, like you said, she's classy and whatnot. But here's what I don't think anybody realizes about Irad. He's raced here a handful of times. I can remember about 4 or 5 races that he's ran in the last 2 years. I think the first time he came was last year or the year before. Jose's run here a lot.
Mhm.
But Irod's never won. Jose comes here and he wins. Even before he's been on his hot streak this year, Jose would beat Irod when they came here.
Oh yeah.
Irod's never won. Now he's gotten a lot of seconds. He's ran a lot of horses. That doesn't mean anything. He is one of the best jockeys in the world, and obviously it's awesome that he's coming. But I'm not going to put my vote on Mizumi or on Prom Queen. That's for sure.
I'm not either. A wait and see approach for her. If she runs her
Yeah.
best race, I think she absolutely beats this group, but we haven't seen that in some time now. So I'm willing
Right.
to take a stab against. Last one that's a bit interesting, coming in from my side of the coast, Mizumi for Bob Baffert. Florent Giroux is going to be aboard. This one's cross-entered. No idea which racetrack she's going to end up at. I hope it's here because I think she drew really well. I think she's coming into her own. It's just her third career start, but she daylighted the field in the summertime OAKS last time out. Even though it maybe wasn't the strongest field, you still like to see her immediately take on and win versus stakes company.
Yeah, this is the kind of girl I like. I like improving horses that are shown. I mean, obviously it's interesting. Her speed figures are way up there. I know that 98 from Betty's Pearl, we haven't decided if it was a freak thing or if it's going to happen again. She obviously can run to that. This looks like more of a consistent, even though there's only two, it's been the same kind of speed and the same kind of race. She knows what she wants, even with it was sprinting and routing, two different races, and she still kind of laid off a little bit and made her move, and it worked out for her. So this is an interesting horse to me. Also, Flo's coming in. He's done well in the Oaks and the Derby here before. And Bob Baffert won it with Looking at Lucky many years ago, and he's ran a few since. I know he doesn't ship like a whole lot anymore, but I'm someone said something, and maybe it was yesterday on the podcast, but that and I haven't checked. You're the Cali man. I'm the indie girl. But
Mm-hmm.
I heard that his numbers are not as good as they used to be when he's shipping, obviously, in recent times. But I'm not going to count that because this man back in the day, conquered Indiana Derbies, plenty of them. So I'm not going to discount him just because of that single stat with other tracks, if that makes sense.
It definitely does. And I think Bob's been a little odd, his pattern over the last probably 15 years or so. I think he used to ship a lot more, used to have a lot more success. Over the last 5 years, he obviously couldn't ship into Churchill Downs, and everywhere else that he would ship, he maybe didn't hit at that same, 20+% that we were used to.
Right.
But now he has a string out in Kentucky, and Dan Ward's the assistant trainer. He's got a lot of his horses out there. So I think it's less of a concern with the ship as it maybe could have been from Santa Anita going out there, because now he has a lot of horses stabled out in, the Churchill Downs area. And as a matter of fact, this one had to work over the Churchill Downs track on June the 5th. So that shows that this horse has been, July the 5th. So this horse has been out there for a couple weeks, probably acclimated by now. And this feels like one that might be hanging around that Midwest circuit, maybe even out towards the East Coast. So I do think Bob is going to have those numbers kind of come back into form for him when he has the kind of more consistent runners that we'll see with him out in the Midwest circuit. But Mizumi, I thought, was very interesting in here. I'm interested in her. I'm a little bit interested in Betty's Pearl, but it's a very competitive race. Nala as well. I mean, any one of these you could bet to take a stab against your favorite Prom Queen. 6-horse affair, but yeah, very competitive. I think any of them could get the job done. Race number 12 on a 13-race Indy program. Good luck. I hope you stay cool on Saturday out there, Rachel.
Thanks, babe. I need it. All the luck Saturday you can get. If you could just do life checks, like make sure I'm still alive every once in a while.
I'll just do proof
Saturday.
of life checks every few
Thank
races.
Yeah, I would appreciate it.
No problem whatsoever. But race number 12, the Indiana Derby, mile and a 16th for the 3-year-olds. Big field, and that has been the case with a lot of these derbies this year, just because I think it's such a deep crop. Maybe we don't have that superstar at the top. Obviously, Golden Tempo, double classic winner already in the Derby and the Belmont Stakes, but he hasn't run those sovereignty kind of numbers that we saw last year, and nobody's scaring anybody away. So we have another big field here. A couple big prices, but again, a lot of these horses can take a big step forward. So, Rachel, we'll start down on the rail for Rudy Brissett and Marcelino Pedroza for lighter.
Yeah, rail's good on 2 turns. I don't like it right. I don't know. It's playing real weird right now because we had all that heat in that water. But I mean the rail's a good spot to be here in these kind of races, honestly. And I don't know. Try to route, maybe could improve off of that. I just think this horse is just too I think this is too big of a step, and I haven't seen any crazy figures compared to some of the other ones in here. Like, I mean, Desert Gates put up a 98 at a mile and a 16th before. One we're going to talk to later is a 96. I don't think this horse can even get close to that. So
I agree. Something I do think is interesting about the draw that you mentioned is the fact that this horse does have some early speed. Wasn't far off of the 22 and change, 45 and change fractions last time at Churchill. I wonder if this one is going to be sent to the front from that inside post position, try and use some of that natural speed. And that might kind of muddy the pace scenario for some of the others like Desert Gate, who ends up in here. But we'll get to that one in a little bit. Mr. T, not for me, Rachel, but this is one where, career best last time out in a stakes race. So, you got to try it, I guess.
Dude, I actually have good stuff for this because this is a local boy, obviously. Justin Bailey is my farrier, or was. And now he's a trainer, so he doesn't have time for me. He's a big time. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I called him and was like, because he cross-entered this guy. Now, JR's junior shadow boy is in the sprint, and Mr. T don't like going short enough, and his numbers aren't good enough going short. So, yeah, I would this is more of like, this is my friend, and I know he's talented, and I think Mr. T's great. And I begged him to please run in this race because even though he's 30-1, like for somebody to have a horse that would, like, one of my hometown people, like last year it was Michelle Elliott's Top in the Oaks. I was so rooting for her and she got second. And I called Justin. I'm like, please God, tell me you're like, I'm not going to hold you to it. You can change your mind, but please, I'm just going to put my 2 cents in here because if you have a horse that is eligible and good enough to even hang in this group, I run him. You never know what could happen. I mean, look at Top last year, and he was like, yeah, you make a good point. So we'll see what Justin decides, but me and he told me his dad wants him to run in it too. So we'll see. But of course I'm gonna be rooting for my boy. I might just put him in a super or 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just try and get him in there. I mean, it's a horse that's very familiar with the racetrack, and if nothing else, gets him more experience. He's a pretty lightly raced horse. He's gotten some, barn changes going around, but his 2 route races resulted his 2 route races on this circuit resulted in huge wins. So he clearly loves it here. Why not? Give him another chance. You never know till you get in the gate, and that's really what it's all about. So I'll be rooting along for you. Maybe I'll throw him in a super or 2.
Yeah, throw him in a super for me.
There we go.
When he completes it and it doubles your money, you can then send me, after your proof of life text, a wow, thanks for making me all that money text.
I will do exactly that. You have my word. Number 3, Zinal for Jonathan Thomas. Umberto Rispoli is in town. Good to see him back riding after that scary fall. Love Umberto. He was out at Ellis Park last weekend, and now he's out at Horseshoe Indy. Very talented rider, obviously. Zinal, 2 good efforts on the dirt. Jonathan Thomas, kind of, when you think of him, you think of turf. So they tried this one in a turf event. That clearly did not work great, but broke the maiden at Indy in pretty convincing fashion, was able to rate some of that speed, was 60 cents on the dollar that day. But Zinal, another one that I think could be a little bit of a contender here. That debut race certainly stacks up, I think, against a lot of these.
Yeah, and the speed figure on that is what I like a lot. And obviously that it was at Indy. So I'm not super high on him, but I love Umberto. Just a wonderful guy. And his wife's wonderful. His kids are wonderful. He's super talented. I'm so glad he's back on the track. Like, just a wonderful person. And a good work coming into this race too. That one on July 4th, it was 49. So yeah, that's one that makes this field tough, right? Because you have the horses that you think can win, and then after that you're like, okay, this horse has every right to be in the mix there. So that's kind of what I think about that one.
This horse can definitely take another step forward. Jonathan Thomas, excellent trainer. One that I am really interested in this race is number 4, Our Money Man. Has paired up 2 very nice low 90 speed figures. Last time out, lost to a horse, Further Ado, who obviously he had that dominating win in Kentucky at Keeneland, and then he came back in the Derby, but he came back, got back to his winning ways in the Matt win last time. I thought Our Money Man ran fantastic to finish second. This 3-year-old just keeps improving for the Brett Calhoun Bard. I'm happy he showed up here. I think this is well within his grasp, and I like his run style. He can come from just a little bit off the pace, but he's not a dead closer like some of the others. What were your thoughts on this one, Rachel?
Our Money Man is, just super excited about that. I'm sorry, you guys, I was totally tuning out. So because I'm racing right now. We just had $400,000 in that 6 race on today. So I'm just, let's go.
I was responsible for 30 of those dollars.
I'm very proud of you.
Yeah.
So if you said this, please forgive me, but he's by Mr. Moneyman. Did you mention that?
I did not mention that.
Okay, so Mr. Moneyman won the Derby a few years ago. It was a little bit more than a few, maybe 5. But so he's an Indiana Derby winner and a semi-recent one at that. So that's super exciting for me, obviously, because it was so fun when Brett brought Mr. Moneyman. He was one of the bigger horses we had in a couple years. And so was very excited about that. And so I'm excited to see this guy run. Wow. I mean, never worse than third. I mean, this guy really, really tries his heart out. But yeah, the Matt win was the classiest race he ran in, and he ran a very respectable second. So I'm definitely going to be including him. And I'm hoping that the breeding from Mr. Moneyman and his love of the track shows up in this guy.
I certainly hope so. It was a career best speed figure for Mr. Money when he ran in the Indiana Derby here. And he seems to be, Our Money Man now seems to just be getting better. Maybe he can run his career best and take the Indiana Derby down just like his dad. Post position number 5 belongs to Bricklin, another Rudy Brisset runner. Fernando de la Cruz is going to be aboard. This one also cross-entered. This is another one I thought had a little bit of early speed. Maybe he won't be, up front on the pace, but one that I think should be well-placed early. However, he's not the most consistent, Rachel.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about the 2-month break, to be honest with you. Like, maybe because of the 2 lackluster fourths, they thought, let's give him a little time. If he runs back to the Sunland Derby, 89 speed figure, he could be up there. I think that this is not one that I would bet on a long shot, to win. Like if you're looking for a long shot instead of a favorite to be an upset horse, I don't think it would be this one, just because he hasn't put up anything close to a 96 or a 98 or some of these other ones on 94 in a long time, since back in January. So I just don't think that it's there for me in the recent one. And I like others a little bit more than this guy. I think he's too unpredictable. Like you said, that was a good point.
Yeah, definitely a little bit unpredictable. Another one that, as we go to post position 6 for Creole Chrome, Louisiana bred, Joe Sharp sending this one in here. Junior Alvarado is aboard to ride. This is one that's definitely going to be forward early. I don't know. I felt like if you were confident enough to run this horse in the Pat Day Mile and he ran so bad that you had to, you went to Evangeline, nothing against them, but there's a lot of other 3-year-old kind of stake options. I get he's Louisiana bred, so maybe that was just kind of the natural pivot. To me, he feels like he's very good against those Louisiana breds, and I think a lot better with Lasix on. So to me, he's not one that was going to be on my tickets, but did you have a different opinion?
No, I agree. Joe Sharp, however, has been so firing lately. But I do want to say just really quick, I apologize to Louisiana. Y'all, I did say Creole Chrome the other day, and I apologize. Eric even texted me, and I knew better. I knew it was Creole Chrome. But so I apologize to everyone. But this horse is I think this is one that I'm probably not going to put in. I just agree with everything you said. The early speed helps, obviously, the good work, but I don't think that. I think this horse is one to mix in exotics. You know what I mean? Have a couple tickets. I don't know that I'm really super high on him, and I agree with everything you said. I'm not going to repeat you, but this horse also, though, has some nice speed. It just depends on how he runs, but what was that 18 length win? Like you said, I mean, that was crazy. I didn't think that he was going to win by that much. I don't know but that was a 94 speed figure. He put up a Brisnet speed figure. He's got speed, so it'll be interesting to see how he runs.
Yeah, he's got speed. He's got ability. It just seems that when the waters get deep, they might be a little too
Yeah.
deep for him. He typically runs, as we've seen in the 2-back and 3-back when he went to that graded stakes company. It seemed like he was a little overmatched. And if he's able to maybe get things his own way up top, that's clearly, I think, when he does his best running. I just think that there's some others that are going to factor in the pace early. Drawn to this one is outside, the number 7, Out of the Woods. Coming in for Phil D'Amato. I can't remember the last time he sent one in here for the Indiana Derby, so that's cool to see him out here. Luis Saez booked to ride for Little Red Feather and Mataket Racing. Obviously, I'm very familiar with those connections out west. I'm happy they have a top 3-year-old like this that they're able to kind of ship around and try and take some of these derbies. Ran really well last time in the Delaware Derby, but Big Cuddle seems to be a horse that really came into his own in that race. He was also the local horse up there. But now Out of the Woods, back in the Midwest, I think he fits pretty well versus this group. I wonder where he's going to be early.
Yeah, me too. And I was just going to say, he's beat Money Man. So that's also something to keep. And I will be interested to see how these two go at the beginning. Obviously, it took them a little bit longer to figure this guy out because it's just like he woke up his 3-year-old year. He definitely was tough. It looked like he got into trouble. He got DQ'd, and then he maybe they gelded him. I haven't looked that up. Obviously, maybe changed it a little bit, but he looks like a consistent guy right now. But then you go back and you're like, there's another side to this guy. I don't know. Obviously he's good, but I still think I'm gonna go with Money Man just because of that last big speed figure. I think beats him, edges him out just a little bit. And Brett knows this race and stuff. Like you said, it's been a long time since Phil's sent one here. But Louis aboard, there's a lot of upside. It's going to be one of those two for me, I think. He's going to be mixed in my top 3.
I'm with you. A jockey like Luis Saez, when you see Out of the Woods, 2 best performances came with him up on the front end. That makes me think Saez is going to be very aggressive out of there, but there's a lot of other speed in here, which is why I'm also leaning towards our Money Man, because he's shown that ability to come from a little bit off the pace. The number 8, Leading Change, exits off of a dominant maiden victory where he got a 92 buyer speed figure. He won by over 6 lengths that day. Brad Cox, Irad Ortiz, obviously connections we're all very familiar with. They're going to be in here for Wathman Racing, this $800,000 purchase by Gunrunner. I don't know. I feel like this horse, Rachel, is maybe going to take a little bit too much money for me to try and find any value. And he could very well be the goods. He could very well run away and hide versus this field. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, my thoughts are that the maiden breaking one was so good. Is he that good first time with winners? Obviously, I mean, this is the Indiana Derby, but he has to think highly of this horse to take it from a maiden special weight and put it straight into this race. And I don't feel like Brad does that like a whole lot. Usually he runs them in some. So does that mean that he thinks he's that good? Maybe it is, or maybe he had one and he thought, let's take a stab at it and see what he does. But I don't think Brad puts horses in races that he doesn't think he can win. So, Better's favorite could be super talented or could hate going the longer distance as well. So going to be kind of interesting to see. It looked like he liked it. I mean, heck, he ran a whole nother race. He was like 6.5 ahead, and he looked good coming out of that one. I watched the replay. So who knows? He might love it.
Yeah, he was in a race of his own last time. Only one run back so far, and that was Big Jake, who came back and ran basically the exact same speed figure. So light sample size, but at least the form to this point is kind of held up. Brad Cox, Irad Ortiz, they're going to take a lot of money regardless. But you mentioned Irad, maybe this isn't his most dominant track when he comes in. So maybe that's reason to beat him. Last horse we'll talk about in this very competitive Indiana Derby field is multiple stakes winner Desert Gate, who's kind of making his rounds. He was down at Oaklawn Park, then he went to Lone Star and Thistledown. Bob Baffert's checking off all the boxes this year. This is going to be his 5th different racetrack this year in 5 races. Rachel, what were your thoughts on Desert Gate as Bob Baffert sends another in here?
That was my thought when I looked at this. I'm like, oh, okay. So he's just like this steak, this steak, this steak. Like he's just like, oh, that one works, that one works. Yeah. So I agree. He's been bounced around, and he obviously, performs. It doesn't bother him at all being in the trailer. But Omaha Beach, Curlin. I mean, geez, OP. I just love this guy. I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to include him. I think he's talented. I think he's going to ship well. I think he's going to like the track. And he has early speed on the outside. I think that that's pretty good to have in a two-turn race. And it looks like, I mean, there's been races where if he doesn't go to the lead, then it's just lackluster. I mean, you can tell he has no interest. I haven't looked up I like the time form. So my Brisnet numbers I like for overall. I love the DRF time form early pace number.
He's got a 125 in here.
Oh my God. See, so yeah, I don't know who's going to be able to do that. Like who's going to be able to do that? And if he gets loose on the lead, I'm pretty sure there's no one with that big of an early pace.
I think the only other one that has been as fast, but he's had Lasix, was Creole Chrome. He's got a 124. Okay. But again, Desert Gate I do think is the naturally faster of the two, and clearly, that's where he's done his best running.
Yeah, and it's gonna. I mean, it just seems like on these days the track is like, for whatever reason, speed favoring on this big day. It's just. I just think that Desert Gate has an unnatural edge with that early pace, because he's going to fight for it too. I mean, even in that, what I liked, the replay I watched too, I watched the Texas Derby. Mm-hmm. He wanted the lead so bad, and so did that other horse. And he was like, and that was the one he had Lasix too, right? Mm-hmm. So that could have had something to do with it. But I liked seeing him battle and start out a little bit behind and still get the lead, because he just looked like he really wanted it. And a horse that looks like he really wants, that's a racehorse to me. So that guy is definitely going to be included too. This is a tough one, because I feel like the top three, comparatively numbers wise, are very, you know what I mean? Like it's almost like you can mix those three. Whereas with the Oaks, you can maybe make a case for one or two, and then it's a question mark. This one, I feel like there's quite a few. There's a handful of horses in here that I think have a very good shot.
It's a very deep field. You nailed it. And the pace scenario is just it's a mess to try and figure out, because is there going to be a 3 to 4 horse speed duel on the front end, or are you right in saying that Desert Gate is able to just be so aggressive, so fast? And he drew really well to the outside, where he can just put the pedal to the metal basically right out of the gate and just force everybody else into chase mode by getting the lead early. It'll be curious to see. And speed is never bad this time of year out at Horseshoe Indy. So it's going to be a really fun race to bet.
It is. I will say really quick also, just because there is rain in the forecast, and like you said, it's not a worry. Inside info, and only because I'm the Indiana bred, but Mr. T hasn't raced on and off track, but he loves it. He's worked on it. And Justin said that if it rains, he loves running in the slop. So if it does end up being muddy or whatever, our money man, obviously very nice win at Keeneland, breaking the maiden. He broke the maiden on the slop. So, I mean, if they break a maiden on the slop, that even makes me like him even more in an off track, because if you liked it as a baby, you gonna like it, you know what I mean, now. So those two are really interesting me if it rains a little bit.
If it rains a little bit and we get an off track, not only will I play a super with Mr. T in there, I'll also play a trifecta. So if it's raining and he likes to slop, then he'll get 2 of my tickets from me on Indiana Derby Day. Rachel, thank you for joining me. It was a lot of fun to go into this card. I think this is the second year in a row I've done a show covering the Indiana Oaks and Indiana Derby. I'll certainly be participating from a wagering perspective. Any other big things going on this week? I've seen a couple giveaways from you on X, as you are the merch queen, of course. Anything else?
Hold on.
Okay. We're holding all tickets.
So tomorrow, hold all tickets. Tomorrow, no. I think I'm going to do it Thursday or Friday, but I'm giving away the Indiana swag. So we have a pin. This won't fit on your head. I gotta order bucket hats for you, babe.
It's gonna need to be a large bucket. Yeah, those are cool shirts,
right? And then the front just says the biggest horse race in Indiana. I like the font, don't you?
I do
It's
too.
like
I think it's very fitting.
it's crisp, it's clean, but it's cool, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is my favorite hat from when me and Ryan actually got to hang out and I made
Oh
him my
yeah.
friend.
Oh
Was
yeah.
from NHC.
Horse player.
Y'all know this is my favorite hat ever.
That's a solid hat.
All right,
Yeah, I wish
babe.
they
Well,
fit. I wish they fit my head, but I'll work on that.
I'll get buckets. And look, if it's really hot, look what else I got. I got a fan. I'm ready
You
for
got net
Saturday,
port?
you guys. I've got the swag. I've got a neck fan. You're gonna do life checks. But to answer your question, I do want to say Brian's coming tomorrow. He'll be here Thursday on the show. Brian Aragoni's going to be in town. Matt Carruthers is going to be in town. He's going to be here Friday and Saturday. I've got just everyone. Michelle Yu's coming. I've got Caden and Doug are going to come and hang out with me, Bradars, and everyone. So just very excited and come to the paddock, say hi. Louis Rabeau, Barry's going to be here. I think people like hanging out with me.
I think you met Kyle Roscoe at NHC. He's going to be out for Indiana Derby,
Kyle's
so I'll
coming?
send him your way. Kyle's
I
coming.
love him. He came
Me
up with a
too.
really good idea, and I told him if he's here, we're going to do it. It's a reel.
Okay, then I will send him your way.
Surprise.
I'll be sure that he knows, and we'll all be surprised to see whatever that idea was. But Rachel, thank you for joining me. I know you have you probably got to go hop back on the
I do.
simulcast in like a minute. So thank you for joining. Thank you guys for watching. This was Indiana Oaks Indiana Derby preview for this Saturday, July 11th. Take care, and we'll see you for the next one.